Rob, where would we be without marketing?
Without marketing, Cheryl, there just wouldn't be any products or services out there because there wouldn't be any innovation, there wouldn't be any creativity. And so without that, we have no new anything.
No new anything and no new friends if we aren't out networking, which is marketing.
Absolutely. I think it's the number one component of marketing for small business owners.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that plus 5 areas you really need to pay attention to in your networking, which is marketing. So welcome to Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money
faster. So we're going to take you point A to point Z.
There you go.
Through this, and this is just one very, very important discussion because a lot of people think networking is
happy hour.
That's happy hour. That's right. I say glad handing, kissing babies, or happy hour. That's what they think it is. So no surprise. That they aren't taking it seriously enough and therefore aren't getting what?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why the big complaint is, hey, I'm not getting any ROI out of my networking. I'm just tired of going to all these events. Again, like we always, what we talk about, Cheryl, is that people are not doing the right things to make their networking work.
Marketing requires a plan. So if you didn't know, I sold radio for a very long time, 30 years. You've been in marketing for most of your life, either from a business owner standpoint, right? Certainly Purple Cow branding.
Right.
And then we have Network Today. So we live in that marketing mindset, and you and I have. That's kind of what we've grown up in. A lot of people don't see networking like we do. They just see it as maybe a necessary evil.
Yeah, and I think, to the point of that is that I think, again, there's lack of education. And again, that's one of our goals here on Network Today is to, put together a training program. Because like in any other skill set that's out there, there's books, there's manuals, there's training courses, and there's just lack of that in the networking field.
Yes, well, and if you can indulge me for a second, I want to dial back to my radio advertising days. And when we would talk to potential advertisers, we talk about the F word, which is frequency. And you know what the frequency is to move somebody from zero, which is, I have no idea who you are or what you do, to, hey, I might consider buying what you have or what you do.
So the frequency,
the number of times that somebody needs to hear that message.
I would say probably 7 to 10 times.
Probably 7 to 10 in this day and age. Back then it was 3. So if you want to move into the spectrum from 0 to the 7 out of 10 point, right? The 7 out of 10 point on a scale of 1 to 10. It would be 3 times to move them into that. I might consider that.
Okay.
So in your opinion, Rob, how does networking equate to that marketing frequency?
Well, I mean, I think the same thing in networking is because especially right now, where we are really the emphasis on building relationships. Becoming, people want to like you, they want to trust you, and so you've got to have that frequency of attending networking groups and being out there. So people see you 7, 10, 15, 20 times before they are kind of willing to, bring you into their inner circle.
Yes. So if people aren't seeing you, who else are they seeing?
Oh,
somebody else, your competitor.
The competition.
That's right. So out of sight, out of mind. And let's talk. So we called it share of voice in marketing, so in our radio advertising. So we'd be talking to, just for the sake of discussion, Geico, right?
Okay.
Why did Geico become the number one, not just insurance advertiser, but number one advertiser in the market?
Well, their commercials were brilliant.
They were. But why? Why did they do it?
We saw them every day, and not just every day. We saw them 3, 4, multiple times every day.
So the multiple touch points, that's important. But why did they do it? Why did they spend so much money selling basically the same product that State Farm was?
Well, I mean, nobody, when it first started out, nobody knew who Geico was.
That's right. Share a voice. So they wanted to squeeze out the competition in the mind of the consumer. That is your job. As a networker, that is your job, to squeeze out the competition.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays you've got to differentiate yourself. You've got to stand out in the crowd because there is so much competition. And again, that's why I like what you're saying is on the frequency, you've got to be out there all the time.
Yes. So when others see our messaging, meaning networking,
Right.
That's our message, our face. Rob Bliss, they see you, and that's the message. Oh, hey, he shows up. He's reliable. He's here. They're more likely to remember us, to call us, and to refer us.
Yes. And that brings back something that we both saw at a seminar was the author of The Art of Hello.
Yeah.
Paula Calise.
Yeah.
And, that book was a brilliant book, again, of helping you brand yourself, communicate yourself through networking. Yeah. And, her whole thing, again, was, get that tagline, 10 words or less, so that people will automatically recognize you as you're frequently sharing that message throughout your community.
That's right. So it builds consistency within the minds of the other people that you're seeing. Yeah. And therefore they say, hey, oh my gosh, I need help with such and such. I'm going to call Rob.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it does. So I think, did you have some points? Tell me when you want to make your points, because I got some here too. I know we're both
you keep going.
Okay, I keep going. So here's some of the touch points. So we're talking about touch points. And I want to make sure that I don't just take over the whole conversation, Rob. So
ask me a question.
Never happens. Frequency comes from multiple touch points. In-person events, right? That's one of them. So you go to networking events. I think that's the natural, and association meetings and birthday parties or whatever. When people invite you, and I haven't always been like this, try to make the effort to go. I think that's important. Zoom meetings, they wear me out, but they're a thing.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think they're here to stay too.
Yeah, I think so too. So pop on as often as you can, even if you can't be fully engaged.
Right.
That's a network. That's a marketing, networking touch point. All right. Drip campaigns.
Yes.
So I'm mixed. That's a mixed bag for me but ask somebody. Can I put you on a drip campaign? Then they've been invited, right? You ask people, right?
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Do you want to, don't just throw them on there because you got their business card at an event. And if you don't know what a drip campaign is, that would be like the email, MailChimp or whatever, right? So
Constant Contact.
Yeah. So does Constant Contact still exist?
They are.
Oh my gosh. That's a dinosaur. Yeah. I'm sorry, Constant Contact users. Sorry about that. One-to-ones, there's another touch point. So you can go back to some of those episodes where we talked about the importance of one-to-one 2.0, one-to-one 3.0. That's a frequency.
Absolutely. Very, very important one.
Yes. And then also, this is one that I think we forget about the importance of engagement, but social media posts.
Yeah.
Especially so you and I, we live on LinkedIn.
Especially LinkedIn.
Not talking about Facebook or Instagram, unless you're in the B2C market. So we concentrate our effort on LinkedIn. When you're going through LinkedIn, do not hit the thumbs up. What do?
Make a comment.
Make a comment, but not the thumb.
Not the thumb.
You want to do, they call it a reaction.
Yeah, it's on to the far right side.
So they want you to hover over it and make the extra half a second effort to go over to the heart button, the clap button, the happy, funny button, whatever.
Yeah.
So choose your button, but do not do the thumbs up. If you want to start beginning, that's a touch point, right?
Yeah.
Because then people see, and it says reaction. And it's just one of those little things that sets you apart. And then you put a comment in there. And the comment should be, do you recall how many words from our LinkedIn workshops?
No, I can't remember.
At least 7.
7. Yep.
So
Okay.
I did a terrible job at that LinkedIn workshop, didn't I? I did a terrible job. So 7 words. Don't just do awesome job. I used to say nice work, well done. Not enough. That's only 4. I'm like, does exclamation point do smiley faces count? Nah.
No.
So 7 words. And the reason I say that is I recently had a CEO of a company reach back out to me because I had commented on a couple of their posts. And all of a sudden, they're like, hey, Sheryl, I've got, let's have some chat time. That's right.
It works. Absolutely. And, another thing, too, that we need to talk about is, our collaboration and strategic alliances, which, we do by forming our power team.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so critical in our networking, is to put together those strategic alliances that are people in our networking community that we can talk to for referrals, get ideas from, all those kind of things. But I think the power team is another important.
Well, what the power team does, and we haven't really touched on this, but to your point, and I hadn't thought about it till now, the power team is advertising for you.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you've surrounded yourself with 5 other people in non-competitive industries, but they're complementary to what you do. And they're the ones who are out telling other people or their clients, hey, you need to talk to Sheryl or Rob or Sally or whoever.
Right.
So they're advertising for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super important. That's
Absolutely.
a great point. Can I tell you a great story that
Yes.
you and I were? Okay. So this is a great networking is marketing story. So Jeff Sandine, right, which we know, I was telling him about Connect Fest, and he's going to be one of our speakers on the Building an Online Tribe. I'm super excited about that component, but I really, really, really wanted certain people in certain positions for our Business Leaders Who Slay networking keynote panel.
Right.
I needed 4.
Right.
I had a missing piece. And Jeff Sandine, because we see each other all the time, I can tell you if I had been absent from networking, I would have never gotten this referral. We could never do Connect Fest, for crying out loud. But he says, Sheryl, I was just talking to Deanna Walker over at Venturity. You wanted a CEO and a leader who also not only networks herself, but also supports networking within her company. And she's your ticket. I reach out to Deanna. She responds immediately. You and I have lunch with her, and there we are. Right?
She was great.
And then I'm talking to somebody today, and they said, Sheryl, I saw Deanna's on your panel. I want to go just to hear her. Right? This is the beauty of networking. Your life will be more successful if you learn that networking is marketing.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to put that marketing plan together, which, again, networking is a big part of it. And for me, it's number 1.
Yes. So do you know what Herb Kelleher said?
He said many things.
Yeah, he said many things. That's a great answer because you didn't know where I was going with this. So, growing up in radio, we were always hearing from leaders in the market and whatever. And so Ron Chapman, our big guy, we go out to Southwest Airlines to the terminal, and there, Herb's talking. Of course, he has to say, because we're a radio advertising group, I always know that 50% of my advertising works. I just don't know which 50%. Now, doesn't that equate to networking is marketing?
Absolutely. The Herb was so wise and so funny in his sayings. But yeah, we've got to spend time on, again, Sheryl, people don't spend time in working the plan, working the strategy. You've got to have that action plan. You've got to execute it so that you can truly measure your metrics to find out what's working and what's not working.
That's exactly right. So keep track of these things. And even if it's Post-it notes, but write it down, put it somewhere so you can track who's referring you and where these relationships are going. So you know that your networking, that's marketing, is working.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Is there a good networking is marketing book?
Ooh, good question. I'm going to give, a book I just recently picked up. It's called Get Clients Now. and it's based on marketing strategies, where a big chapter of that is on networking. So I would highly recommend Get Clients Now.
Get Clients Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great book.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Check it out.
All right. So as we close, you have some action items for us, sir?
Well, my first action item is put together a networking plan / marketing plan.
That's a good one.
Truly spend the time. Again, it can be a one-page document, but spend the time of what you want to accomplish through your networking contacts, your networking relationships. That would be my first action item.
That's good. That's good. I really manage and monitor my one-to-ones. So I schedule them on my calendar. I know we've talked about this before, but that if this is new to you, this is how I do it. I put NW, then the person's full name, and Sheryl, my full name. And if they want me to, I can invite them to that calendar invite. But that way I can pull up, I can go to my search bar and say NW, and it'll show me all my NWs in the last month. So I know how many networking meetings, not just a Sarah and Sheryl meeting, right? It's an NW, Sarah and Sheryl, right? Full name.
That's such a great tip, and you've said that a couple of times, Sheryl. We need to write that down and put it, and do an episode on that one thing, because that is a highlight. That is so important to keep track of, if you're going to have anywhere from 10 to 20 one-to-ones during the month.
Yeah, and then I can look and I can say, instead of my 6 per week, that's 6 one-to-ones per week is my goal, that are just solely networking, not decision maker meetings, but networking. So that equates to 24 a month.
Yeah.
So when I can go in there and I can see that, I'm really at 17 this month. That meant I had and it's not bad. Right. It just means that's
very good.
That can be why maybe my pipeline starts slowing down, is because I'm not having those one-to-one meetings, and then I'm not getting those referrals back.
Well, you're setting the goal, you're setting that standard, and it's something that we all human beings need. Is we need a kick in the butt when we're down a little bit, so that we can hit that goal.
That's right. That's good. I want a kick in the butt. I need a kick in the butt. So, any other action items before we wrap?
No, it's just those two this week.
All right. So, let's catch that book. The book is
Get Clients Now.
Get Clients Now. All right. So, thank you for joining us today. We got some killer episodes coming up. Let me tell you, it just gets better and better and better as we begin to get more feedback from the people that are around us, the important people speaking life into our life, not death, life. And so y'all are giving us great content. We've got some really good stuff coming up, including on 8/2, Network Today Live.
Connect Fest 24.
That's right, at Very Space Las Colinas. You don't want to miss it. We've got all the information that's rolling out as we speak. So, Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money.
All right, and cheers, my Bucky friend.
All right, here we go.
I'm glad you found your mug.
I know.
All right. We'll see you next week.